Ciao and welcome. Last week I started a mini series of weekly lasagna and I cooked a creamy broccoli lasagna and it was delicious. By the way, anyone who lives locally, there is still a portion left in the freezer if you're interested. Today I will be doing a chickpeas lasagna and I've actually given this dish quite a lot of thought and I will be combining it with some ricotta, some spinach, and I will try and avoid using bechamel sauce for a change. So let's make a start. So first things first, I will be using some chickpeas which I've actually soaked overnight in water. But you can also use chickpeas from a tin. These are 250 grams when they were dry and now they are 500 grams. It always amazes me how much they grow. Look, this is chickpea when it was dry and this is what it looks like now that has been soaking overnight. I'm going to boil these and I always, whenever I boil beans or lentils or chickpeas, I always put a bay leaf. It adds a tremendous amount of flavor. And just cover them with enough water to leave approximately 1 centimeter from the top. Place them on a hot stove and once they boil, turn them on a gentle heat and let them simmer for approximately 1 hour. Of course you can use tinned chickpeas, and if you do I will tell you what to do when I get to the same point. But if you choose to do what I've done and soak them overnight, my tip is to add a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda or baking soda, I think it's also called. And what I will do, I will break down the starches quicker in the chickpeas and they will be softer, and when we go then and mash them they will be easier to work with, but also they will cook faster. So that's a little tip for you, especially if you live in hard water areas. In the meantime I will continue with some of the other preparation. I have chopped an onion, a small onion, a medium-sized potato, a stick of celery and a medium-sized carrot into small pieces. I'm going to add a little olive oil in a pan. And while everything is cold, add everything together. And also add a pinch of salt. Place them on the hob and let them sizzle for a couple of minutes. And if you have some fresh rosemary, just peel it off and add it to your potatoes and vegetables. After a couple of minutes, add some water and like we did with the chickpeas, add enough to leave 1 centimeter above the top of the vegetables. There. I'll put the lid on and once they start boiling, I'll turn them down to simmer for approximately 10 to 15 minutes or until everything is cooked. The chickpeas are ready after 1 hour as planned. They are lovely and soft. I just tested one and they are perfect. So I'm going to drain them in a separate bowl. And I'm going to be leaving a few in here and keep the rest in here. And I'll do the same with the vegetables which are also ready. And I'll transfer them back in the pot. And keep the water, of course. Add the majority of your chickpeas, but not the ones you have reserved for later. And add a little bit of your stock from the vegetables. And I'm going to whisk them with a hand blender. You will have noticed that I didn't put a lot of water because you can always add it later. And at the moment, although it's quite creamy, I would like it to be a little bit more liquid than this. So I'm going to be adding a little bit more water. Just a little more though, not a lot. That's better. I'm much happier now and that looks perfect. Imagine this is a ragu and you were making a lasagna with a ragu. That is the sort of consistency you will be looking for. And that is perfect. And this is a good time also to check it for salt. I've just tested it and I need a little bit more salt, so I'm going to be adding it now. And I will be adding a little pepper as well, so that my sauce will be salted and peppered and it's ready for later. And I'm now ready to move on to the next part of my recipe. This is a little olive oil in a frying pan. And I'm now slicing a clove of garlic. This is a fairly large clove of garlic. You can use 2 medium-sized ones. I think I like to be generous with the garlic in this dish because chickpeas and garlic go very well together, and I think it will make a difference. But if you don't like garlic, don't put it in, or put half the amount if you like. I've put the pan on the hob and I've also added a few chili flakes, which I think will complement the spinach very, very well. But again, it's an optional ingredient. Give it a minute, and once the garlic has released some of its flavors, add some spinaches. I'm using the equivalent of 3 large handfuls of fresh spinaches, but you can also do the same with frozen spinaches. And again, I would use most probably 3 bowls of frozen spinaches if that is what you choose to use. It doesn't make much difference. Put the lid on and you will see that within a few minutes they will shrink considerably. That is the opposite to the chickpeas. And there they are, they're ready. They literally have been cooking for approximately 4 minutes on a medium heat. I'm going to now leave the lid off, turn them off and let them cool down for a little bit. I'm not using any bechamel sauce for this lasagna, and I will be replacing it with ricotta. And ricotta and spinach go very, very well together, of course. And using a spoon or a fork, whatever you might have available, just mix it together so that it's all blended. I did wait until the spinaches did cool down quite considerably before adding the ricotta. Perfect, a nice uniform consistency. That looks really nice. And my next ingredient is going to be the cheese. I've grated 80 grams of cheddar. You can use any cheese you like as long as it's nice and stringy, of course. And also 1 bowl of fresh mozzarella. This is Parmesan cheese, which I will be using to sprinkle when I go through the layers. And today I will also be using fresh lasagna. You can use the hard lasagna, but if you do, ensure that your sauce maybe is slightly more liquidy. So lay a little bit of the chickpeas sauce at the bottom of the pan, like we always do, and place some of the lasagna cut to size. A little bit more sauce. I think that's a bit too much, so I'm going to take some off. And I start with my first filling, using the spinach and the ricotta first. Try and distribute it evenly so that it's across the entire lasagna dish. And sprinkle a few of the whole chickpeas that we reserved. This will be nice when we bite into it. A little cheddar. And a few pieces of mozzarella. And off you go again with your pasta. This pasta is nice and easy to use because you can cut it to cover all areas without worrying too much. And repeat the process. Every time you do a new layer, just put a little bit more sauce. I've just completed the second layer, and this time instead of adding the mozzarella, I'm going to be adding some Parmesan cheese. So I alternate every other layer between mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. But the cheddar will be a constant. And I'm now at the last layer. I've done actually 4 layers altogether because the spinach has made it quite thick. So 4 layers is what I've managed today. And that's perfectly okay. So again, as usual, a little bit more generous with the sauce when you get to the last layer. And sprinkle the remaining mozzarella on top. And also some more cheddar. I did actually have to grate a little bit more. This is a further 20 grams, but I will provide you with the quantities in the description. And lastly, I'm going to slice a few very, very, very thin pieces of a red onion. You can also use a white onion. I'm using a red onion because it's a little bit sweeter and it will look aesthetically a little bit more pleasing. And here, the chickpeas lasagna is ready to go in the oven. As usual, I will be putting it in the oven for 35 minutes, preheated at 180 degrees if it's a fan oven like mine, or 190 if it's a normal oven. And for the first 20 minutes, I'll put some tin foil on top, and the last 15 minutes I will be removing the tin foil. The onion I just sliced, I will be adding that for the last 15 minutes at the very top. So I'll see you when it's ready. Bye. Dun, 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 dun.
Does look lovely.
Just out of the oven. I'm going to let it rest for 5 minutes maybe, and then I'll cut it and then we can test it. And as always with lasagna, once it's cooled down a little, go around with a knife to make sure that it's not stuck, and it'll be easier for you to serve it. I've come indoors, by the way, because my oven in my kitchen is not powerful enough to do lasagna. So I'll finish the video in my kitchen. And I will attempt a portion now. Oh, it's coming off nicely. So the consistency was pretty good. Yeah, look at that.
Ooh, nice from there though. You can see all the...
And now I sound surprised, but I never made one of these before.
No.
I'm ready to tuck in and try. I can't wait. I'll get... See, by the way, I put some whole chickpeas in there. You'll see them when you try it.
All right.
I'll get one from the corner. Otherwise it's too big and then you'll never go at me. Result, I like it. If you like chickpeas and you like spinach and you like ricotta, there is nothing not to like, really.
No.
Tell you what, the garlic in the spinach is quite nice. As I said before, while I was making this, garlic and chickpeas go well together, and I wasn't wrong. So if you like garlic, make sure you put a good enough quantity. Now there is someone in this room who was a little bit doubtful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get her to taste it as well.
Yeah, sorry everybody, I was a little bit sceptical about how good chickpeas in a lasagna could be.
So come over here and let's swap places.
Right, here we go everybody. As you said, if you like all of the ingredients, why would it not be good? And I loved your chickpea pasta, so I'm really hopeful this will be delicious.
Need to be honest, by the way.
Oh,
I did
yeah.
say that it would be.
I'll be honest.
You will be honest, good. Oh, another take.
Another.
It takes two.
I'm getting peggish now.
Oh, that's a good thing then.
That's really lovely. Well done. That was really, really lovely. Yeah, that gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
Excellent.
I'm looking forward to that
Well,
later.
you better say cheerio then.
Right. Buonasera a tutti.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.